Can you solve this math challenge? Here's the question. If n squared plus n plus 1 equals 0, then what is the numerical value of n raised to 2023 plus n raised to 2024 plus 2024? Now, you can pause this video if you want to give this problem a try. And now, let's answer this question together. Alright, so given this single equation, we have n squared plus n plus 1 equals 0. Then we want to find the numerical value of n raised to 2023 plus n raised to 2024 plus 2024. Alright, so to answer this question, what we're going to do is, of course, to use the given equation. We have n squared plus n plus 1 equals 0. Now, take note, if we subtract 1 on both sides, we get that the value of n squared plus n must be equal to negative 1. Now, we will use this value. So, let's get the expression that we want to evaluate. Now, 2023, this can be written as 2022 plus 1. And 2024, this can be written as 2022 plus 2. Now, why we do that? Because we will use this law of exponent. If we have b raised to the power of a plus c, this can be written as b raised to the power of a multiplied by b raised to the power of c. So, n raised to 2022 plus 1, this can be written as n raised to 2022 times n raised to the power of 1, or just n. Now, n raised to 2022 plus 2, this can be written as n raised to 2022 times n squared. Now, we can now factor out a common factor of n raised to 2022. If we do that, we get n raised to 2022 multiplied by n plus n squared. And take note, n plus n squared, this is the same thing as saying as n squared plus n. And we know n squared plus n is just negative 1. So, n raised to 2022 times negative 1 is just negative n raised to 2022 plus 2024. So, our expression now becomes negative n raised to 2022 plus 2024. Alright, so the problem is, what is the numerical value of this expression n raised to 2022 or negative n raised to 2022? So, again, let's use the given equation. Now, we know that n is not equal to 1 because if we plug in 1 in this equation, this is not equal to 0. So, why not? Multiply both sides by n minus 1 because we know n minus 1 is not equal to 0. On the right-hand side, n minus 1 times 0, this will give us 0. And on the left-hand side, we will use this identity. Take note that when we have a factor of a minus b multiplied by a squared plus ab plus b squared, this is the same thing as the factor on the left-hand side of our equation. This must be equal to a cubed minus b cubed. So, the left-hand side of our equation can be simplified to just n cubed minus 1 cubed, or simply n cubed minus 1. And we can now solve for the value of n cubed. Just add 1 on both sides, we get that the value of n cubed must be equal to 1. Now, let's raise both sides by 674. Now, your question, why 674? So, we will see later on. Before that, we will use this law of exponent. If we have b raised to the power of a raised to the power of c, this can be written as b raised to the power of a times c. So, n raised to 3 raised to the power of 674. If we multiply this 3 and 674, we get 2022. This is what we want to find. And 1 raised to 674, this is simply equal to 1. And now we know n raised to 2022 must be equal to 1. So we can replace this expression right here with 1. So our expression right over here becomes negative 1 plus 2024, and we can easily simplify this. This is just 2023, and that is our answer to this question. Therefore, if n squared plus n plus 1 equals 0, then the value of n raised to 2023 plus n raised to 2024 plus 2024 must be equal to 2023. And as always, we are done.